Hey guys, I'm Danielle and this is Bookchara, and today you are watching my Shorty September TBR. I have been waiting for a year to participate in Shorty September, so it's not too much to say that I completely overthought this TBR and probably spent way too much time preparing it, but it was a labor of love. So for Shorty September, I am trying to read books to fulfill the 12 prompts created by Bert over at Past Storytime. He's co-hosting this read-along with Heather at Too Many Heathers. My strategy was to choose books 200 pages or less to fulfill each one of these 12 prompts. For the most part, I was able to do that. There is one book that's slightly over 200 pages, but it's a poetry book, so I figure we're talking lots of white space, and I even think there's some illustrations involved, so it'll still be a fairly quick read. So as you'll see with each one of these prompts, we have a coordinating tarot card. These images were created by Heather. They are beautiful, and I'm really, really excited to be sharing those along with my TBR picks. For the first prompt, we have jorts, which are jean shorts, and the prompt is to read something from the 70s or 80s. I stretched this one a little bit, as did Heather, I saw, which made me feel much better about doing it. And so instead of the 1970s or 80s, my book is from the 1870s, and that is Carmilla. It was published in 1872 by Joseph Sheridan Le Fanu. Fanu? For my next book, I will be reading for New Metal Bermuda Shorts, a book that mixes genres. And for this one, I chose Power and Prestige by Sarah L. McConkey. This one combines Regency romance and fantasy. For the third prompt, we have Rockstar Shorts, and that is to read a book and pair it with a song or album. So I will be reading Island of the Blue Dolphins by Scott Odell, and I will be pairing this with the song Survivor by Pop Evil. For half and half shorts, we are supposed to read a book and then pair it with a movie. You can either read the book and watch the movie, or watch the movie and then read the book, however it works for you. But for this one, I'm going for a little bit of a nostalgic vibe. I will be reading Pippi Longstocking by Astrid Lindgren and watching the 1988 version of Pippi. It's called The New Adventures of Pippi Longstocking. This was a movie that I watched quite a bit as a kid, but I don't actually think I ever read the book that coincides with the movie. So gonna read the book and then revisit those memories with The New Adventures of Pippi Longstocking. For the next prompt, we have paper bag shorts. For that one, you're supposed to buy a book and read it. Bonus points for getting a paper bag. So sadly, I did not get this in a paper bag, but I have The Wide Sargasso Sea by Jean Rice, and this was one that you may have seen featured on my recent book haul. This I got from Better World Books and was a recommendation of Heather at Too Many Heathers. For the supermarket 2-pack shorts bundle, you are to read a nonfiction book that ties in with another of your shorties. And so I am going to read Night by Elie Wiesel, and I'll be accessing that on the Internet Archive, so I don't have a physical copy of that. But I'm going to pair that with Island of the Blue Dolphin. Both of these stories are about survival. One about a girl who is left behind on this island and is there by herself surviving for 18 years. And then the other story that I've just mentioned, Night, is a Holocaust survival story. So that's how I'm tying those in together. And this one is nonfiction. For shorts with pockets, read a book with something on the cover that could fit in a pocket. I will be reading Gift from the Sea by Anne Morrow Lindbergh. I'll also be reading that one on Internet Archive. This one, Anne Morrow Lindbergh is apparently the wife of Charles Lindbergh, and I get the impression that this book is geared toward women and just kind of some observations that she's had over her life. She's kind of just sharing her her perspective, and I'll know more about it obviously after I read it, but it definitely seems like a well-loved shorty, so I'm excited to give that one a try. It does have a seashell on the cover, which could definitely fit in a pocket. For the next prompt, we have micro or Taylor Swift shorts. We are to read a book of poetry or read a book with a breakup in it. So I'm going with poetry, and I'll be reading Time Will Tell by Courtney Peppernell. This one, like I said, this one does exceed the 200-page mark by just a little bit, but lots of white space, some illustrations, and this has been sitting on my shelf waiting patiently to be read, so now is the time. For summer cookout shorts, I'm supposed to read a book and eat or cook something to go with it. So I'm going to be reading the first book in a series of unfortunate events. This is The Bad Beginning by Lemony Snicket. From what the internet tells me, Count Olaf's favorite meal is a dish called pasta puttanesca, and yeah, I'm probably not going to be making the sauce from scratch. I'm more of like a semi-homemade type of cook. So I'm going to be buying a prepared jar of the sauce and hopefully trying that dish for the very first time. For leopard print shorts, I am supposed to read a book that I've seen someone reading in the wild. It can be online or it can be in public. But last Shorty September, I saw Heather at Too Many Heathers reading a book called The Route of Ice and Salt by Jose Luis Zarate. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but that's what my brain says it is. This one I'll probably be reading on my Kindle, but this, like Carmilla, is another vampire book, so I'm like really pleased that I managed to get 2 of those on this TBR. Anyway, we're gonna give it a go. I can't remember exactly what Heather thought about it, but I liked it enough, or I was intrigued enough that I remembered it from last year. The next prompt is zip off trousers. We're supposed to read a book with a title that could be shorter. I feel like I did really good with this one. I'm going to be reading from the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankenweiler by E.L. Königsberg. Yeah, let's go with that. And finally, we have ripped shorts. Read a mystery or slasher. Getting another one off of my physical TBR here. I will be reading The Secret of the Old Clock by Carolyn Keene. And as you can tell, this is Nancy Drew. So I feel like I got a really good mixed bag here. I'm very excited. I've been excited for Shorty September. I can't imagine that I'll deviate from this TBR very much, but I am gonna give myself, you know, that wiggle room if I decide to. But yeah, it will feel good to get some of these shorties read off of my physical TBR especially, and to explore some ones that I was just completely unfamiliar with before I tried to come up with this TBR and tried to fulfill some of these prompts. So yeah, this is cool. This is gonna be a lot of fun, you guys, let me know down in the comments if you will be participating in Shorty September and what you've got planned. Let me know if there were any books you saw on my TBR that you're really looking forward to hearing what I think of them. I'm kind of up in the air about whether or not I'm gonna vlog my Shorty September experience, so let me know what you're feeling. I guess that's all. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe. My next video will be my September TBR game. So until then, bye guys.